And on Tuesday, October 24th, it's time for episode 304 of the 359 podcast, if you can believe it. And in the house today, full house, Alfred, Roger Cheng, and David Katzmaier with terrible posture.
Woohoo!
Hey guys.
Oh, are we doing the bad posture show?
Yeah, this is me. Like,
I mean,
you know,
the bad
with a
posture
short,
show is just
short
me every day.
Mom,
cord
don't
on my
watch this.
headphones.
She's not watching. Don't
Okay.
worry.
That's why 359
She
you can get
never
away
watches.
with bad posture for like 4 minutes. It's awesome.
Yeah, there
Remember
you go.
when we were audio only and people didn't see us?
Those are the days.
Yeah, but then I
could
got
sit
hired.
like crap all day.
I get nostalgic for those days.
Anyways, let's focus.
Yeah, let's focus, people. We're going to be talking about the Amazon Fire TV, the new Amazon Fire TV. Is why we've got David on to talk about that and how it stacks up with the competition. You've got Roku, you've got Apple TV, Chromecast. So there are a number of options out there. David's going to be around to break it down for us. And then next up, the Kaspersky is the U.S. government's holding hearings tomorrow to discuss Kaspersky and its possible involvement with Russia and all that controversy. There's a lot to break down there to unpack. Fortunately, Alfred wrote an FAQ and we'll be able to explain this whole beef. It's all kind of confusing to me. So, Alfred, you're gonna need to help me
I feel
out.
like we're going to need more than 4 minutes for this, but we'll try to do it.
Do it in about 2 minutes
Yep.
if you can. That would be awesome. As always, if you have any questions about these topics, leave them in the comment section and Brian will get to the best or pick out the best. We'll get to them in 3 minutes and 59 seconds.
And here we go for the recording of the podcast. We'll see you in a couple minutes. Submit your questions and comments, and I'm sure David Katzmaier would love to hear from all of you. Here we go in 3, 2.
Welcome to the 359. I'm Roger Cheng.
I'm Alfred Eng.
The reviews for the new Amazon Fire TV are out, and we have special guest David Katzmaier to break it all down for us. David,
How's it going?
thanks for joining us.
Anytime.
So, I mean, bottom line, the Amazon Fire TV. I always say
It's an
Kindle.
easy mistake.
I know.
make it
The
all
Amazon
time.
Fire TV is out. I mean, the review, you did the full review.
Yep.
What do you think?
It's really good,
Okay.
but not as good as Roku.
Okay.
So it's pretty easy this year. There's actually two $70 4K HDR streamers, Roku and Amazon Fire TV, that really compete for the exact same person. Somebody that has a 4K HDR TV, wants a new streamer, and basically has to go, which one do I like? So I always say with Amazon, with this one in particular, it's really about voice. And being able to, like, if you have an Echo or a Dot in your house, you can sit there and say, Alexa, play Transparent. Alexa, play Stranger Things, whatever it is. And it will turn on, won't turn on TV. The TV's already on. It'll switch and launch those apps and play those things with just a voice command. You don't need to pick up the remote. That is freaking cool.
How accurate is it, though?
It's pretty accurate. I mean, it's as accurate as any search on Amazon. So if sometimes the words don't work very well if you have the wrong word, but in general, it works. And they're just getting better at it, like all this Alexa stuff. There's some limitations, but in general, that's a really cool feature.
I mean, but with all that, you still say the Roku beats it out.
Yep.
Why?
Well, Roku's interface is just cleaner. With Amazon, you're basically staring at a whole lot of Amazon videos, Amazon ads, Amazon promotions. That just got under my skin after a while. Like, I want a nice, clean interface like a phone. I want an interface I can customize like a phone, move my apps around, go into the apps, get their interface, and see what I want to see without too much fuss and bother. And Roku's still the best at that. They still have the best 4K selection of apps, and they have a new feature on their remote, so you can actually control the TV volume and power with the remote included with the box, and that's really cool.
All right, thanks. Next up, you may be using Kaspersky antivirus software, but did you know it's in hot water with the U.S. government? Alfred, you broke down this dispute or this issue between Kaspersky and the government. What's going on?
Yeah, it's been a long 6-7 months for Kaspersky in the U.S. This all kind of really started around July or June or so when Bloomberg had released a report talking about how Kaspersky had ties to the Russian government, about how all the things that they were doing implied that they must be working together in one way or another. A month before that, FBI investigators actually questioned several Kaspersky employees working in the U.S. And then in the last 2 months, there had been reports from the Wall Street Journal and the New York Times talking about how Israeli hackers caught Kaspersky, Russian spies using Kaspersky software to steal secrets from the NSA. The Wall Street Journal broke that story in October as well, talking about how NSA secrets were lifted from a employee's computer in 2015 using Kaspersky software as well. So there's a lot of espionage going on right now.
So bottom line, should I dump my Kaspersky software?
So the thing about this is that this is more about like nation states, and this is kind of a Russian spy, their equivalent of the FBI using they're like hacking tools for these kinds of things, and
Right.
they're specifically targeting individuals because it's extremely hard to hack an antivirus.
Yeah.
And it's targeted attacks. So if you think that there's a reason for any like Russian spies to want to take your family vacation photos or anything like that,
Yeah. They're
then-
awesome. My kid's super cute.
then yeah, you should probably be careful when you're using Kaspersky software. But the idea is that these are very focused attacks. These aren't like widespread attacks. So it's one of those things where you have to consider: are you a target of
Right.
Russian espionage? And if the answer is no, I would assume that it's safe to continue using the software to block out ransomware and any
Right.
other things that
Because it
antivirus
is still
block.
a fairly highly
Yes,
rated.
It's still one of
piece
the
of
best
software.
antiviruses
Yeah.
in the world. So
All right. That's all the time we have. For more of these stories, check us out on CNET. I'm Roger Cheng.
I'm Alfred Eng.
David Katzmaier.
Thanks for listening.
Alfred, I understood none of what you said.
I'm sorry. I was
putting that out
trying to break it down in
Really?
No,
2
that's-
minutes.
That's
you
pretty
gave us a lot.
straightforward.
You
Oh,
gave
It's
us
a
a lot.
discredit to me, not a
Yeah,
discredit to you.
you gave us a big info dump. So I
Yeah.
mean, there's a lot to process.
That's
Yeah.
what I'm saying.
It's a complicated story.
I think
too.
the main takeaway is that Kaspersky Antivirus is still a really good software company. Countries around the world still use it. Germany continues to use it, and they even publicly stated, despite all these allegations and reports, there has been no technical evidence being put out there about this, and they're still continuing to use it. In September, the Brazilian army signed a new contract with Kaspersky, and Interpol, which is kind of like
Yep.
the European like police force, I guess. I don't know.
Well, it's sort of an international police.
But yeah,
force,
they recently signed an agreement to continue working with Kaspersky for its like cybercrime
Right.
operation.
I guess here in the U.S. though, there's going to be. I have to imagine there's going to be a chilling effect for just
Yes.
even normal customers, right? Looking, they see these headlines, they
Yeah.
kind of equate it with the Russian spies. It's at that point, even if it's highly rated, you're going to start shopping around.
Yeah,
for other
they're
options.
going to have a lot of trouble basically getting their reputation back up to par
Yeah.
in the U.S. and in Western Europe, which is about 60% of their market.
Oh wow.
And I think the idea is, even if they are one of the best, there's still multiple options out there for you.
Right.
So it's one of those things where why should we stick with this when there's like concerns about it?
I mean,
here?
I will say having the government kind of on your back about something like this, that's a huge negative impact. I mean, I bring up the example of Huawei, which the U.S. government several years ago basically said, well, you're not allowed to sell any network equipment because we have concerns about security. The company, but the government made it clear, like, we're not talking about phones, but Huawei still has struggled to sell
Yeah.
phones here. That brand is pretty much non-existent here, even though it's been pretty successful around the world. Here in the U.S., having that black mark from the government, it's just like it's like a death sentence.
So yeah, I
sentence.
think a lot of it has also been discussed behind closed doors. This kind of like first surfaced when Senator Marco Rubio kind of brought up during an intelligence hearing. He asked the head of Cyber Command and somebody from the NSA basically, would anybody recommend using Kaspersky software? Unprompted, they kind of just brought it up out of nowhere, which is kind of their way of getting it open to the public without revealing that much. Like,
Gotcha.
like something from a closed hearing, just bringing it out front, like out of nowhere.
Huh.
So that's the thing. A lot of these issues that they have are really behind closed doors, and that's why there's not that many technical details out on it.
Interesting.
And that's also why Kaspersky yesterday had offered basically we're allowing third-party monitoring of our source code, of our updates and things like that
Right.
from an independent source, and so they can let everybody know like what are the issues with our company without trying to defend their name and all this like controversy surrounding them.
Okay. Brian, why don't we get to the questions?
Yeah, let's stay on the same topic here. Coming in from Imagine Sagi, can we talk about AVG? Do we need to find a new free antivirus program? And if yes, which one?
I wouldn't use AVG. I was telling that. Me personally,
Why is that?
they're just not that highly rated
Okay.
on there. Kaspersky did offer a free antivirus and anti-ransomware. For me, I just try to practice like safe security measures, and I'm like using Windows Defender, which is
me too.
free, and I also just like I'm like very paranoid of a lot of links that I open.
Oh yeah.
So
yeah.
I'm like already extra secure on that, and then I'm also like not on my desktop a lot.
Right.
Is the thing.
I mean, actually, I do use Kaspersky Actually, my license is expired, so I was using Kaspersky.
You can use the free one.
Is it just as? I mean, is it as effective?
Yes.
Oh,
Yeah.
all right then.
But
Okay.
didn't you say you were worried about your kids' photos being taken?
Yeah, there's that. I'm sure the Russian government really wants to get their hands on those
Yeah.
adorable photos.
The idea is that, I talked with a security expert and I started talking, and she was basically saying, if somebody's trying to hack you, they're not going to do it through like your antivirus because it's extremely difficult to do, and they're going to get you through other means that are much easier, like, I don't know, sending you like a phishing link or, tweeting something at you, trying to get you to click on that. Like,
Or buying your social number from Experian.
yeah. Equifax.
Equifax, sorry, Experian.
Yeah.
Well, Experian had its own issues a few years back, so
Yeah.
they're not completely innocent here.
Right.
Yeah. But the point is that there's like multiple measures out there, and I think your antivirus, which is a prime target, but it's also like pretty hard to hit.
Got it. So bottom line is your antivirus is probably fine, but you're screwed either way because they'll find another way to hack you.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep.
Just to put a positive spin on it, I'm not anti-virus. I'm just pro-healthy.
Good.
If we
Good for
want to
you.
be, I'm trying to be PC here.
There's
All
some
right.
healthy viruses out there too.
That's an optimistic way to look at
I'm
life.
anti-vi.
I like it. You're anti what?
I'm anti-vi.
Don't protest.
Oh, God.
All right. Here's a good question from Assad. Isn't that the same what the CIA, FBI are doing? The same with Google, Facebook, Apple, and Microsoft systems, as far as I'm assuming like partnering monitoring goes?
Yes. I think part of the idea is, we do it too. So
Right.
as far as like spying on other countries and using hacking measures for it, I mean, I think that was one of the big like things that Kaspersky had kind of brought up in their argument when their software had detected the NSA hacking tools. So the story goes is that the NSA employee brought NSA like files home on his home computer,
Which is already a big no-no.
yeah, and that's how the Kaspersky software picked it up, because the tools were hacking tools. So
Yep.
it was basically, oh, you mean our antivirus picked up this malware that your government of like agency wrote? Like, it basically the idea is like it did its job. The question is, okay, but how did it get from this antivirus to in the hands of like the Russian like government? Like that's like
Right.
okay, we get step A to step B, but how did this end up in like the Kremlin?
Yeah.
Here. But yes, the U.S. government also uses like a variety of hacking tools and leveraging like tech companies. So
Yeah.
it's exactly the same.
We all suck.
Yeah.
All right, one more on this topic from Imagine Sagi. But if it's true about Kaspersky, wouldn't they be able to create a profile about us to target disinformation, which RT is known for doing?
Yeah, but they're not in the line of sending out disinformation.
Yeah, this is less about
This isn't
spreading
propaganda.
information. This is more about
like,
actually
security,
capturing
yeah.
information and stealing information. So it's sort of the opposite.
Got it. All right, let's switch gears back over to the Amazon Fire TV.
I'm sure David's relieved.
Hey guys, I'm still here.
James Favor asks,
Kaspersky.
do you know if the new Fire TV supports Dolby Atmos or any high-quality audio?
Yes. It supports high quality audio, as in regular Dolby. It also supports Atmos. The issue is that the Amazon Fire TV doesn't have any apps that support Atmos yet. So Vudu right now is kind of the main purveyor of Atmos. That's on Roku right now, and Roku Stick also has Atmos.
So Vudu is not on Amazon?
No. Although there's a new thing called Movies Anywhere you may have heard of.
Oh, yes.
So we talked about that a little bit. Movies Anywhere is a really cool thing. If you own movies, actually paid for movies, right? Anybody?
Yeah.
Seriously? No.
I own the
no
rights
hands?
to so many movies.
Yes.
I have about 500 DVDs at home.
That's
Right.
true. I have DVDs.
Well,
Do they
if
hold
you
up your
took those
tables
in a big IKEA bag to Walmart and did disc to digital, you could make those into your new Vudu library.
Oh,
That's
really?
neither here nor there.
Whoa. I didn't know that.
So there's a thing called Movies Anywhere that links your owned movies. Of course, you can probably just get sign-ins from Vudu, Google Play, and even Apple iTunes. The motherlode of people paying
wow.
for money,
Wow.
movies.
I pay for
is
money
Apple.
off all the time.
Yeah, exactly. So Movies Anywhere allows you to link all those accounts on the back end, and then on the front end, which can include any of those apps or Amazon, you can just go in and watch any of the movies from any of those other services. So on Fire TV, which lacks a Vudu app and a Google Play app, and obviously iTunes,
Right.
it can still access movies that you bought on those other services, thanks to Movies Anywhere. A
Okay.
wonderful new service.
It's a nice
that-
little-
it's
That was
free.
very in
Little
depth.
And you're welcome.
Yeah,
Around?
I feel like we should take turns answering questions on each other's beats and see. Atmos is cool, I guess.
It's pronounced Experian. Yeah, so Atmos is there. Yes, just not supported.
Matthew Datcher, the Datch in the chat, asks, does the Fire TV play YouTube? If so, will it do a better job than my Google Home at playing the videos I want? For the life of me, I can't get my Google Home to play my watch list.
Yes, but I think you're talking about voice control. You're saying, hey, okay, Google, play videos about silly cats. I don't know what videos you're looking for, what words they have in the spoken commands, but often if you have, words that trip up systems, it'll trip up anything, whether it's, Google Home or Alexa. But the Fire TV won't play YouTube videos. It will play YouTube videos directly if you use those voice commands. So you can say play videos on YouTube. And as will the Google Home. So that works, but whether one is better than the other at recognizing your voice, historically I found that Google Home is better at recognizing your voice. So if you're having trouble with Google Home commands playing videos via Chromecast, don't expect better performance from Fire TV. Don't go out and buy a Dot and a Fire TV expecting to get better cat videos from without having to use their own.
And how's that the voice command work? If I say like play Orange is the New Black, it'll know to load up Netflix or what? Like what if? Like how does it know which video service to load up?
It all depends. So for example, Amazon is obviously favored as always.
Right.
So if you say Transparent or Man in a High Castle or whatever, that works great. If you say Orange is the New Black or a Netflix show, it will actually call up the search result for that show. You have to, and then it'll say watch on Netflix is generally the default, and then you say Alexa play. So it's a two-step process instead of just firing into it.
What a cool and convenient feature.
Yeah, so it's still up in the air, and this goes back to a lot of these walled garden things, whether that's Amazon's fault or whether that's Netflix's fault for not building in the hooks. But long story short, all of these things have these kind of little barriers unless you're using their own sort of service. And Netflix is, kind of famously independent in terms of things like that.
But there is a YouTube app on that, right?
Yes.
Yeah. So the issue is what? You can't use the voice commands to play specific videos?
Yeah, no, it works. You can, it just sometimes takes a little bit more of a command. So you have to be a little bit more specific. Sometimes you have to say on YouTube or whatever it is. You can't just say play crazy cat videos and it'll work.
But if you did say play crazy,
know that it's
One
YouTube.
day,
There's
David.
no way to
One
set
day.
the default for those commands to be YouTube yet.
But if you said
But
play
it's
crazy
Amazon,
cat,
so they probably won't do that.
play crazy cat videos on YouTube, it would know. It would load up YouTube and play those videos.
Honestly,
on
I didn't test that. No crazy
there
cat
should
video
be a crazy
testing.
cat test.
Crazy cats videos.
I'll go back and do it. That's a massive playlist. You guys can check it out. It's me going crazy, pulling my hair out, acting like a cat.
All right, what's up next?
Let's just spend a couple more minutes on Amazon.
Yeah.
Josh Boyda says, well, not technically Amazon, but streaming video. Josh Boyda, I'm moving into an apartment that has a smart TV, and I'm bringing my Google Home. Is it worth bringing my Chromecast?
Yeah, that thing is like the size of you can put it in your coin pocket in your pants. So yeah, totally bring it.
No, I mean, I assume he could probably also gift it to somebody or pass it down
I think
the
the
line.
idea
Yeah,
is
don't
like,
leave it behind.
I think he's
I don't think
kinda
he's gonna
wondering,
leave
like,
it.
is it going to be redundant to have a smart TV and a Chromecast?
So the question there, yes, because the whole thing is Google Home. If you're into talking to your TV and getting it to do stuff, Google Home plus Chromecast works great. The smart TV probably doesn't work with Google Home unless it's a late model Sony with Android TV, and then it kind of doesn't work as well as Chromecast. So yeah, that's the issue. Is the smart TV interface is always going to be behind a Chromecast or an Amazon Fire or a Roku in general. So trust in those little pluggy-in dongles more than you're going to trust in some interface designed by Samsung in 2014.
But is it really only so like you can talk to the TV? Like, is that the only real added advantage?
Well, Chromecast is really slick in a lot of other ways. It has great app support via phones. It loads quick. Sometimes the Wi-Fi is better than on a smart TV. So yeah, again, with an older smart TV, Chromecast will run circles around it. Provided you're okay using your phone to call up videos.
All right, we got one more, and it's David's favorite question. What do you think is the best out of all the streamers out there? Money is no object.
Money is no object. Ew.
I like it.
I'd
Because
love
there's
to
some real
sell
premium
you
ones.
a
High roller.
streamer.
Gold plated.
Yeah.
Honestly,
Gold-plated
what
HD.
is the most expensive one?
So the most expensive one is NVIDIA Shield, and arguably the best.
Oh, it's
I mean-
pricier than Apple TV.
Yeah,
I
yeah.
didn't
So
realize
it's
that.
they just NVIDIA released a
kind
GIMP
of a
version
gaming
that
machine,
doesn't
too.
include a game console for $20 less to match Apple TV's price. But I would not buy that because a game console is another $20.
Yeah.
But anyway, that's a great box. Does pretty much everything now. Voice commands are great on because it has built-in Google Assistant. That would probably be the one that I would buy. Second, very close second place is Apple TV, just because it has Dolby Vision. It annoys me that it does everything in HDR, but you can kind of get over that, and I didn't ding it hugely in the review. But those two are your gold-plated streamers, and they're both really competitive, and they honestly serve different markets. So, Plex people have a lot of files, quote-unquote, that they want to stream. Shield's great for that, gaming. Shield does all the apps. It's got great voice with Google. But Apple's a really slick interface, and the remote is great on there. The voice is really good with Siri, blah, blah, blah. So those two are your gold-plated ones.
And you always tell me anytime I'm asking about it that you favor Roku
Yes.
as far as budget.
Yes. So again, if I have all the money in the world, I still might use my Roku. At home, I have access to pretty much any streamer I want, and I still use Roku. So the idea with Roku is that it's super simple, and it kind of does everything you want. So anytime when you're streaming, you're basically like, so what do I really want to do with this thing?
And it's really the only pure play. Like Roku really only makes these boxes, right? They're not trying to get into this. They are this area.
And TVs, which is a
Right.
huge growth for them. But
Right.
yeah, they're specializing in streaming, and they don't have an axe to grind. They don't want to sell you videos like iTunes or Amazon or Google. So
Right.
Cool.
Before we wrap it up, let's just address one. There's a couple of people in the chat who are kind of curious about what the current status of crack is.
It's still rampant on the streets. It's an epidemic.
It is 1988 after all. No. So where are we standing? What's the latest development with the crack?
Multiple companies have released like patches for them. So if the next time you get your little like update prompt, you should probably, it's not useless. It's most likely a security update. Google and Apple have both said that they were releasing them in the upcoming weeks. So if you've gotten a notification to update from them, definitely do that.
The new Apple TV beta is for crack. They're saying that's coming out like tomorrow or the next day. So
Okay.
again,
So like I said, it's very hard to keep track of all the smart home stuff that could be affected by this. But like I said, as soon as you get a prompt to update, you should. That being said, though, there's been more developments about like how the attack actually works. And like hacking an antivirus, it's like extremely difficult to do, and it's also a targeted attack. Like it's not a mass attack like ransomware.
You have to be local, right?
Yeah, where it spreads from like one thing to another. Like somebody has to basically say like, I'm definitely going after Alfred, or I'm going after Brian on this, and I'm going to stand outside of his house.
They're going to be severely disappointed.
With a laptop, and then you also have to know that they're on WPA2 like Wi-Fi encryption. And then you also have to know like at what point the vulnerability like works. It's a lot of factors. So I feel like it's the Kaspersky argument again, where like unless you think you're somebody that's going to
you're
be
a high value target.
Yeah.
Which none of us are.
It's a massive corruptibility that's still a obstacle course to get through. Essentially, is what you're saying.
Yeah.
It's just
and
the fact
thing
that
is,
we're so we're so insignificant that serve our protection.
that
right there.
and
thank
like a
God.
lot of companies have already kind of patched this. So this is not an invitation for anybody to try to hit me with this.
you would be
don't-
disappointed.
yeah.
We're really relevant.
Yeah. But I am saying it's very difficult to do, and it's mostly like targeted attacks.
Right.
So again, though, update your systems anyway.
Yep.
Exactly.
always.
And
All right.
on that note,
All right. If you liked anything you saw or heard here, check us out on CNET. Our podcast is also available on
about
iTunes, TuneIn,
CNET.
Stitcher, SoundCloud, FeedBurner, and Google Play Music. I'm just tired, guys.
Damn it.
on 3, 2, 1, damn it.